When you feel emotions, this is you being called to movement, right? And to move in a certain way, energetically. So the thing is, women are not educated and in no way, shape, or form enlightened around this awareness of our feminine energy. And the notion of like we must control our emotions still propagates this patriarchal, misogynistic need to keep the feminine on a leash and string. Just this time is you doing it to yourself, right? You are doing it to yourself. You don't need a man to invalidate how you feel. You don't need society to invalidate what you're feeling. You are invalidating how you feel because all you're doing is repressing it. Peace and prosperity. This is Esaia Mystic and welcome back to another video. I'm here with another message to help you free your heart and soul. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. This is the place where you can learn all about decolonizing spirituality and primordial feminine energy. I am a spiritual life coach and femininity guide for high achieving women, and today I would like to talk about why you need to stop controlling your emotions and do this instead. Now, I know there are a lot of like dating coaches and just people on the internet and just in general that tell women to control their emotions, and they say this with the best of intentions because right now women are in a state where they are over giving themselves emotionally on an energetic and emotional level to the men in their life, to people in their life, just in general. People have this way of being about them to where they just naturally give away their power. And when you give away your power, you are giving your emotional control away to someone else. Basically, you're emotionally investing yourself into things, into ideas, into beliefs, into people that don't have your best interest in mind and don't really care about you at all. So this is just the status quo for the way people operate in general in society. And this is because of the way that women embody their feminine energy and they understand themselves on an energetic level. It's because women have been programmed and conditioned to give away all of their power. And so everyone else, like the mainstream status quo thing to do, is to also give your power away. Now, to actually hold your power and to actually magnify your power takes actual practice. It is an art. It is an art form. It is a cultivation and remembrance of your ancient feminine energy. And so in this video, I want to get into why the mindset of controlling your emotions, even though it comes from a good place, right? And it comes from this awareness that we're giving our power away in relationships with men and just setting this vibrational standard and frequency for everyone else on the planet to give their power away to systems and, beings that don't give a shit about the earth, the planet, anybody in general. And why we need to start to learn how to actually channel our emotions and utilize them to serve us in the best way possible. So what happens when we feel like we need to control our emotions and we're being conditioned and told that we need to control what we feel is we start to think that having emotions in general is a bad thing. And to become emotionally stirred up from something is somehow like wrong. And listen, I am like in the human design, I have emotional authority, okay? If you haven't heard of the human design, if you don't know about the human design, it is a phenomenal tool that I use in my programs with coaching women and in my own life for discovering my true nature. And when you have your emotional authority, right? When you have emotional authority, which means your solar plexus is defined, this means that you are naturally an emotional being. And naturally, out of nowhere, sometimes you just have a boatload of emotions that just overcome you, right? And literally like overwhelm you. And so when you're telling women in this kind of cookie cutter way to control your emotions and, you know, don't express them in that same way, you're basically saying don't express them. It sets women up to have all kinds of mental illnesses, just psychological disturbances. Really, it deteriorates mental and emotional health in women. And like in my previous video that I did actually just posted yesterday, emotional intelligence and knowing how to channel your emotions correctly so that you can activate your higher energy centers of femininity is the true value in femininity and is what keeps us youthful, beautiful, attractive, magnetic for a lifetime. So in knowing that, okay, our emotions are something that is not to be controlled. It is not to be boxed in. It is not to be, when we get emotions, it's not something that you need to, repress until the end of days. It is something that you do need to have intelligence about, right? You do need to understand your emotions, what they mean when you feel them, how to utilize them and channel them when you get them, and what when you get certain emotions, what that means for you, right? And what that means as far as how you channel it, right? So this, like the action of the emotion, right? As far as what you do in response to emotion. See, emotion is all about movement, okay? It's not necessarily about action. It's about movement. And this is something that I teach inside of my programs, or if you were to work with me one-on-one, is when you feel emotions, this is you being called to movement, right? And to move in a certain way, energetically. So the thing is, women are not educated and in no way, shape, or form enlightened around this awareness of our feminine energy. And the notion of like we must control our emotions still propagates this patriarchal, misogynistic need to keep the feminine on a leash and string. Just this time is you doing it to yourself, right? You are doing it to yourself. You don't need a man to invalidate how you feel. You don't need society to invalidate what you're feeling. You are invalidating how you feel because all you're doing is repressing it, right? And suppressing it. And a lot of times, honestly, just because of the ignorance, like you just don't know what to do. And so that's okay, right? It's okay. I had to learn, and my learning took a process, right? It took a deep self-reflection. It took a journeying into my subconscious lunar feminine energy that I have been talking about lately on my channel. So the key here is to not feel like you need to control who you are and control these emotions that you get. So say you have emotional authority as well. And whether you have an emotional authority in the human design or you don't have emotional authority in the human design. Whether you are an emotional person or you're not an emotional person necessarily, unless other people are emotional, you absorb their emotions, right? Whatever the case may be. Emotions are powerful. And to tell a woman like to control them takes away from the intelligence that you can be cultivating in actually expressing them and moving through them and learning how to put them where they need to go. So there is an importance, right, in understanding when you should express yourself and when you should not. But you should always be releasing emotions. If you do not release emotions, they're going to stay trapped in your body and they're going to cause physical illness and different types of cycle. Like it messes with your energy. It messes with your physical, mental, emotional wellness. So this is exactly what I was talking about in my previous video of how people see women to lose value after a certain age. It's only because this emotional awareness, right? We don't have it anymore in society. And so women walk through life kind of just being this emotional threshold for all of their stuff and all of everyone else's stuff. And by the time you get to 30, it's like, whoa, what the hell happened? Like, it's because you did not know how, number one, who you are as a woman in your power, emotional power here. And number two, how to channel that accordingly. So the key here is not to control, but it is to channel your emotions wisely. It is to know how to move when you get those emotions, where and who to express it to when you do have emotions, right? It's not about repressing them, okay, and controlling them to not, right, like put them somewhere. They need to go somewhere. You have to express what you feel always, and you have to release it back into, into life, right? Being emotional is the source of all life. Life is colorless without feeling emotions, tapping into like just the variety, right? This is the reason why people love art so much, love creativity so much, music, film, dance. Like, it is what colors life. Life would be meaningless without it. And this is the same way for women. If you suppress this and you become like robotic all in the sake of being, feminine, it's like you're not really able to move people and have people to fall in love with you for you. Like, they're falling in love with you for this version of femininity that you think you should be being. They're not actually drawn to you, your soul, right? Your soul is what people connect with, what people fall in love with, what men absolutely love and admire and uplift you for. And just imagine being so surface level disconnected from that. Usually when we're younger, we're in it, right? And so it's easier. But as we get older, we go through things and all these emotional things, right? We really cut ourselves off from the pleasure of living life, the pleasure of relationships. Men don't, without you having emotions and knowing how to channel them, it's like you're doing a disservice, right? They're not receiving the true value of you, the real value of you. You are allowing them to continue to only see you as valuable in these matrix, in this, distorted way of, oh, she's here to make me look good. She's here to, bolster my ego. She's here to be a pretty face and, but you can stop all that talking now, right? Like, that is what you continue to allow to exist on this planet when you do that. So it's gonna take bravery, it's gonna take courage, it's gonna take a deep love and appreciation for the beauty of all that you feel, and to love what you feel so much that you actually honor what you feel and you decide to learn how to channel it. You decide to put it into something, right? Some kind of creative thing to where it can be expressed and released. And if you work with me, I can show you exactly how to utilize emotional energy to draw in masculine energy, to ignite dark masculine provider, protector men, to also increase your income, call in more wealth, call in overflow. Okay, that's coming from the soul. It is something that feels so good to receive from, okay? When you're receiving from this deep depth of you versus you being someone that that you're not really, it's like it doesn't feel completely aligned. It doesn't feel really like it's meant for you. And that's because you have access to so much more if you allow yourself to feel and channel your emotions correctly. So, my loves, I appreciate you guys so much for watching this video. And if you are interested in activating your lunar feminine energy so that you can be fully connected to your emotions, your soulful and spiritual psychic self, and start to embody your soulful gifts, be resourced for who you truly are as a soft feminine woman, and just 10x your pleasure and energy in your body on a day-to-day basis, then click the link below, book a call with me. This call is also your application into my 11 to 13 week program, Lunar Feminine Freedom. We are starting on the snow moon, so a couple weeks from now of February, and I'm super excited to see and work with all of the women who are in the program right now. So if you are on the fence, if you've been following me for a while and you've been unsure about if you need a coach or if you need to work with me, or and especially if I've triggered you at some point, then you most likely need to work with me. So the link is down below. Make sure you click apply, book your call. I'm only offering space for the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then the doors are closing. And if you're watching this video in the future, I'm most likely have something new, or maybe I don't know. Just check the link in the description or send me an email at sacredsupport@esaiamystic.com. And yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you all in my next video. Peace.